Hey guys, so UFC 303 is over. It was an interesting card to say the least. Alex Pereira beat Yuri Prochazka in a dominant fashion, just head kick KOing him or TKO him, and then finishing with strikes on there. Kind of a late stoppage. That was crazy. Dan Ige stepping in on 4 hours notice to fight Diego Lopez. Both of these guys are absolute savages for that because, I mean, I know Dan Ige, he was training for a fight, obviously, and he wasn't in shape for it. But, you know, no tape watching on freaking Diego Lopez. Lopez, just a powerful guy. Just everything wrong could happen in that fight. And then you have Diego Lopez, this surging prospect on here. Like, just finish after finish of it. And he basically got fucked over a lot during this because, you know, obviously short notice of that's fine. That happens. That's a part of it. That's how badasses are made. He fights Brian Ortega on the literal morning at 12 while he's asleep. Is like, hey, I kind of want to change the fight to 155 pounds. Diego Lopez agrees to it. Then Brian Ortega pulls out. Now it's a 160 something weight, catch weight. Still manages to win. So badass. But I wanted to make another video on this prospect that I made this a while ago on Payton Talbott before. I think it was right before he made his UFC debut against Nick Aguirre, I believe was his name. And that one did pretty well in terms of views and that stuff of it. And a lot of people are now high on him as well. And some people are calling him the new Sugar Sean O'Malley, Brown Sugar O'Malley, if you will. It's insane what he's done so far. In terms of, he hasn't necessarily fought the best competition. Besides Cameron Simon, that's the only guy on there that I would say is actually good of it. And he managed to beat Cameron Simon fairly easily. And then Nick Aguirre, I believe he took him to third round. And that's not Cameron. Payton Talbott's only submission win, which was impressive, kind of showing a bit of evolution. I know not against the best opponent, but still. And then Yanez Gamori, who isn't really good either in terms of that, but he's doing what he needs to do against this level of competition, whereas Sharapudin Magomedov, who Sharapudin Magomedov, my brain kind of blanked on names, making sure I was saying the right guy, the Dagestani kickboxer guy, who is struggling against these guys. Obviously Bruno Silva was a good opponent for him, but then he fights I don't even remember what this steroid dude's name, who was absolutely awful, and Shara cheated in it, and he took him to the third round just to beat him. Payton Talbott just finishes this guy in 19 seconds. He throws the 1, the 2, he drops him. Payton Talbott for a second is trying to basically let him get up because he's like, dude, come on, I literally threw 2 shots on you. And maybe he's realizing that he's hits hard, because that was insane. And then he follows up with some ground and pound, 19 seconds. And if you were to take away, if he just instantly went in and just tried to throw strikes, 13 seconds, maybe 12 seconds. Insane power this guy has. I'm excited to see what he does, and he made an awesome call out. I think this is probably the best one he could go for in terms of progressing up. It is a bit of a step up comparing it to the 3 opponents of Yanez Gamori, Cameron Simon, Nick Aguirre, of where I believe Nick Aguirre and Yanez Gamori don't have a win in the UFC. So, those 2 aren't good. But then you got Cameron Simon, who is actually pretty good of that, where at the time his only other loss was against Christian Rodriguez, who missed weight on that, and is an actual pretty good fighter, which is what sucks about him missing weight all the time. And then now you got him coming up. He called out Adrian Yanez. I'm excited for that, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I know Adrian Yanez, because he's coming off a win, he beat Vinicius Salvador. Does that really sound impressive to you? Does that really sound like a win that makes me go, oh, I don't know, I might have to pick Adrian Yanez over Payton Talbott? He beat Vinicius Salvador. I just don't know. And I know they're gonna say Adrian Yanez, he's got that ranked experience, he's in the rankings, got that. I don't think he's beat a ranked opponent. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he's beat a ranked opponent. I can't even really, it's kind of hard for me to even name people he's beat. That's just how bad it is. And then he loses to Rob Font, where, yes, I will be honest with you, I bought into the Adrian Yanez hype. I heavily bought into it. I really liked his fights. And it was a matter of he's going against Rob Font. Rob Font is incredibly chinny. And he was coming off of that. He's 2-fight losing streak at that time. Had lost to Jose Aldo in a pretty one-sided fight. And then got brutalized in the fucking Marlon Vera fight. Like, I know he didn't get finished, but I know he outstruck Marlon Vera, but he got dropped. You look at his face like he just went through a meat grinder. Adrian Yanez hits hard, and he's a lot more offensive. Like, he's more willing to go in there, charge in, and throw strikes, which I thought would be beneficial to him, but it turned out it backfired, and then he got finished in the first round against Rob Font. So that backfired, and then he lost to Jonathan Martinez because he could not check a leg kick to save his fucking life. Like, I don't know what the fuck I was watching. Like, I'm pretty sure I picked Jonathan Martinez, but Jesus Christ, that was absolutely embarrassing to watch. Like, he got leg kick TKO'd, basically being just a punching bag. Basically, his leg just got chewed up completely, and he never adjusted to it, and then they give him, like, a very big layup, and Vinicius Salvador, who is not good. Vinicius Salvador is not good. He is frail. You look at him, he's absolutely frail. And he beats him. He finishes him. He does what he's supposed to do against Vinicius Salvador. But I'm also going to say this. Payton Talbott, he probably does the exact same thing to Vinicius Salvador, if we're being honest. Maybe a bit faster, because he is a bit more technical in terms of overall striking. Boxing-wise, I might give it still to Adrian Yanez. But in the same vein, they're both going to do awful things to Vinicius Salvador. So trying to put Adrian Yanez like he's levels above Payton Talbott in terms of competition is stupid to me. Like, let's just be honest here. And with that being said, if these two do fight, which I kind of hope they do, because it'd be an interesting fight in terms of still we got Payton Talbott, the upcoming prospect. Everyone's talking about him. Everyone's loving him. He's got charisma. He's got all that. And then you have Adrian Yanez, who the UFC still have a bit of hope for. Fans still have a bit of hope for, because people like Adrian Yanez. I like Adrian Yanez. He seems cool. He's got fun fights of that. But he's fallen off a bit of it, where no one's really talking about him as being this, like, he's going to be this top 10 mainstay, maybe top 5 guy, maybe a future champion. I know people were talking about him like he's going to be a future champion. So this could be his chance. If he stops Payton Talbott, you can put him right back in there and be like, all right, get him a higher ranked opponent. He's earned it. But if he loses of that, then that's going to be a major fall off, and it's going to be sad. But if Payton Talbott beats him, he's now in the rankings, and it'll give you, depending on how the fight goes, if Payton Talbott let's say Payton Talbott wins, depending on how good of a performance he puts on, how, I'm use quotation marks, how easy he makes it, or that I'm not saying he will make it easy, but if he makes it easy on that, then I'm like, top 10 guy maybe. Maybe you give him Jonathan Martinez because he beat him. Maybe you give him, if the UFC are smart when it comes to promoting, unless it's talking about John Jones, in that case they will not promote anybody else except John Jones. But if they're going to play it smart with Payton Talbott, they'll give him Jonathan Martinez. Not Jonathan Martinez. They'll give him Adrian Yanez. They kind of know Adrian Yanez might not make it into the top 10, may not be the big prospect that they were hoping for. This all might backfire on you, but that's how high on Payton Talbott I am. They'll give him Adrian Yanez, and if Payton Talbott beats him, let's say he gets like a second or third round TKO, because let's not act like Adrian Yanez is some invincible machine. He's been chinned, he's been leg kicked, TKO'd. Let's not forget that doesn't really happen in the UFC. So if it happens, that's a big issue on defense, and Payton Talbott can hit hard of it. If he beats him, you give him the guy that beat Adrian Yanez, Rob Font, who, yes, is also coming on a losing streak, but he's higher up in the rankings. I want to say he's either just out of the top 10 or he's in the top 10. He's somewhere in there. That's a big jump. That's another big jump up in terms of rankings of it, and is a winnable matchup. Because you can build this guy up here in the case of Sean O'Malley loses to like Merab Dvalishvili, or against Corey Sandhagen, you now have another Sean O'Malley basically guy here who, in my opinion, I think could be a bigger star than him because he's not faking all this other stuff that Sean O'Malley is, and I'd have a bit more. He's naturally gives off a more charismatic vibe. He talks more charismatic. People have a bit more of an interest in him than people do in Sean O'Malley, to be honest. But that's kind of my opinions on it. Really good performance from him. Spectacular. Like, he did to him what he's supposed to do it. And everyone's riding high on him. I'm riding high on him. I think Payton Talbott versus Adrian Yanez, he made the call out. Most people are going to throw away their call out for a fight that they're not going to get. The UFC would be like, okay, he said that. There's at least a bit of intrigue now. People are talking about it. I'm talking about it. So I say make that fight, and then if he beats him, if he finishes Adrian Yanez, give him the step up with Rob Font, where I think he would also win the fight. I'd honestly give him a higher chance of beating Rob Font than I would give him beating Adrian Yanez. And I know that's crazy saying that Rob Font beat Adrian Yanez, but I just don't think Rob Font is really good anymore thing of it. And I still would pick him to beat Adrian Yanez, but it's just a style matchup thing. Let's just be honest here. But, that's about it for me. Bye.